Then we set up partition met V, then P equal to say 0.6, list equal to false, and then call it BH train is BH prepped, TR rows, then BH valid DF BH prepped minus TR. Okay. Okay, then now that we have the train and valid data, now we're going to use cross validation, so we have to set seed again. So whenever we are sampling, we have to use set seed, of course, for reproducibility only. Okay, so now, so we're going to use NNet. I'm sorry, neural net, right? So here we are using neural net. So when we in caret, so there are some peculiarities. When you use caret to run neural net repeatedly, so you can have 3 hidden layers only. Okay, if you use neural net outside a caret by itself, then you can have any number. But of course, you have to be careful because the more hidden layers you have, the more computationally burdensome it's going to get. As you will see, even a tiny model like this is going to take some time. So here you have only 3 hidden layers. Okay, so you have to set up the grid in that fashion. Okay, so we use expand grid. Okay, and the name of the column here is layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3. Okay, so you have to provide all 3 layers. So layer 1, okay, so that is the syntax. Then you can now say, what are the different neurons you want to try? Okay, you want to, in layer 1, you want to try number of neurons 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you say 1:4. Or if you want to try 2 and 5, so you can just say 2 and 5, 2, 5. Okay, so how many neurons in the first layer you want to try? Okay, so I say 1, 2. So it will go through 1 and then 2. Then you say layer 2. Okay, and let's say that you want layer 2, 1, 2, and say we don't want anything for layer 3. We don't want the third hidden layer. We don't want the third hidden layer, but you can't just leave it out. So you have to say layer 3 equal to 0. So we don't want anything there. So that's our grid. Okay, so if you run this expand grid, well, so my grid 1 now is has 4 possible values. So layer 1, okay, possible values are 1 and 2, okay, and then layer 2 has 1, and then again repeat 2, layer 3 has zeros. Okay, so Now, once you set this grid up, that's the different training parameters that Caret is going to use. Okay, and then say we have control. Okay, so this is for sampling. Okay, grid is for different parameters to try. How do you do sampling here? So the default is cross validation 5 folds. That's the default. If you don't say anything, if you don't use train control at all, it's going to be cross validation 5 folds. Okay, but if you want anything different, then you have to. If you don't want any cross validation, you do train control method equal to none. Method equal to none will give you no cross validation. It's just one single. You will take the entire train DF and then run it. Okay. So let's say that we want method equal to repeated CV. So that is repeated cross validation. You want to do cross validation repeatedly. All right. So the number here is your fold. How many cross validation folds you want, and then how many times you want that repeated. Okay, so let's make it 2. The larger the number you put there, it's going to take more time. Okay. So repeated cross validation, then you say train med v, okay, all the variables, okay, and data equal to BH train dot df, right? Method equal to neural net, okay, and then tune grid equal to my grid 1, and then TR control. What happened here? TR control equal to NN CTRL. Okay. All right, so repeat equal to, or repeats, that's repeats equal to 2, and then medv not found. Okay, so BH train .df. Okay, so I have MDEV, I have misspelled it, MDEV. Okay, so now it's going to run. It's going to take a couple of minutes to go through all the combinations, and then it will give you the best selection. Yeah, you have a question? Okay. So then once it is done, then we'll use predict to predict the predictions for the valid DF, and then we can do metrics. So we'll finish that up next time. All right.